This show is clean.
Hedgehog.
Pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Effizode 769. Hi, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley, plus the return of the much-loved feature Do You Know Dat, where we look at some interesting recent news stories and we find out what sort of craziness Kesha is going through with her producer.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The producer, Dr. Luke, he's the producer that makes a lot of pop songs for pop singer girls.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And did you know, on the last show, Benita and the disgruntled fiddle player said they use Snapchat to spice up their love lives. Did you watch Bill Hader on Saturday Night Live? I haven't watched it yet. I'm really behind watching all of the fall TV stuff that's supposed to engage your mind and make you go, ha ha ha. I really enjoyed Modern Family.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And New Girl. The first two new episodes of the year for those shows made me laugh
Mike's
quite hard.
Daily Podcast.
Heartily?
Yeah!
Yeah, so that's
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Modern Family and New Girl. The first two episodes, very funny this season. Is what I thought. That's my review. Look who just walked in. Hello, Margaret Masters. This is Madame Rootabega, and I see that you have a little bit of poison oak. Whew. Yeah. And, you know, that's probably a good thing I'm not in a relationship with anyone right now because I got some poison oak on my arm. I don't want to spread it to anyone. My cure for it is I just don't scratch it. It's itchy. I don't scratch it. I don't itch it. Wait. It's scratchy and I don't itch it? Or is it itchy and I don't scratch it? Whatever. So I just don't touch it. I need to watch more Simpsons with that mouse always decimating and dismembering that cat. Oh, the Simpsons. Yeah, so I just try not to touch the poison oak and I hope it goes away. Michael Matthew, why don't you try some kind of cure that you find on the internet? Oh, yeah, I've tried that and I made it like 20 times worse and it actually left a mark. It was like some kind of a baking soda hydrogen peroxide mix. And oh my gosh, it like exploded. And it's still, there's a scar there to this day. It was down on my leg. But you can read more about that on my blog. Hey, you know what? Let's take a call. Hello, person calling the last place on earth here at Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Tell me, and it appears we have spoken before, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
I mostly like I told you before, I mostly like Mexican, salsa, Italian, Indian, German, French, Ireland, Africa, all music from around the world, because my girlfriend likes that music too, and, but I listen to other music too. I listen to oldies, classical, rap, rock and roll, gospel, Christian, because I'm Catholic and I believe in Jesus and believe in God. I listen to Christian music, gospel music, and other church music. I listen to country. I listen to oldies, classical, whatever excites me.
I see.
Whatever I'm in the mood for.
So you like all kinds of music?
Whatever excites me, but mostly around the world music. Plus, another reason why I called you guys back is because my housemate who's sitting next to me, he loves music. That's another reason why I called you guys back.
Yay, let's hear it for music. Okay, music's so annoying. If it's done by Kesha. Oh, I don't know, maybe you like Kesha's stuff. But there's some big news happening with her that she apparently, well, she has filed a lawsuit against her music producer, Dr. Luke, who has filed a lawsuit against her. This happened today. They're trading accusations of abuse and extortion. This according to Reuters. Kesha, who's 27 and hot, whose legal name is Kesha Sebert. I want to call her Sebert. Maybe it's Siebert. All right, let's call her Siebert. Kesha Siebert has accused Dr. Luke in a civil lawsuit filed in L.A. Superior Court. She is accusing him of sexual, physical, verbal, and emotional abuse. Dr. Luke's legal name is Lucas-Gottwald. That's Lucas with a Z and then Gottwald. And it accuses him of forcing Kesha to, quote, take drugs and alcohol in order to take advantage of her sexually while she was intoxicated. Dr. Luke is 41 years old. He writes hits for Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, and Kesha. And he responded with his own lawsuit in New York State Supreme Court in Manhattan, accusing Kesha and her mother, PB, of defamation, breach of contract, and contractual interference. The lawsuit accuses Kesha and her mother of orchestrating a campaign to publish, quote, false and shocking accusations against Dr. Luke to extort him into letting the singer out of her contract. Meanwhile, Kesha is saying that Dr. Luke has drugged her and even raped her and threatened her career if she told anyone about it, among other lurid accusations about Dr. Luke's personal life, it says in Kesha's lawsuit. And she says that physicians at the rehab clinic, she just finished a more than 2-month rehab treatment plan. They say that if she went back to work with Dr. Luke, it would be, quote, life-threatening. She also claims that she became bulimic with the constant insults from the producer over her appearance. Meanwhile, Dr. Luke's lawsuit names the singer's manager and management company, and it asks for a jury trial and unspecified damages. Oh, look who just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we were wondering what was going on with Kesha when she dropped the $ from her name there.
Yeah, now you just spell Kesha the normal way. But it used to be that S in her name was a $ and no longer. It's so sad, Mike. I miss that $. Do you know that?
Yeah, we also miss that weird symbol that Prince used to go by.
Yeah, having him go by just Prince is so boring. Do you know that? What do you guys think about this poison oak that I have?
That's disgusting, D.
Thank you. Madame Rootabega, do you have anything for it?
Michael Master, I can probably find some ointment.
Wonderful. Well, what do you think about this whole Kesha thing and poison oak? And today, I found out that I have to take out a tree out of my front yard because apparently the roots from it are clogging up my sewer line to the street. But I don't want to remove a tree. I'm not a tree killer. I'm a tree hugger.
That is disgusting, D.
All this conflict in my life. What do you think? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. I read your comments on the section emails from email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We also have the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. It's a wonderful place with links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Subscribe to the show in iTunes, and you can comment on the show there and rank the show there, and that helps our rating. Or maybe you rate the show and it helps our ranking. Either way, it helps us out if you listen to the show in iTunes. Or make sure to check us out on Facebook. That's a great way to support the show. If you like the Facebook page, when I post a new show, share it with your friends and more people find out about us that way too. Another great way to support the show is through the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something at a great discount. That helps us out. And if you buy anything through Amazon, go through that little window there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com to help out our show. There's also links to where to listen to the show on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spreaker, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Yelp, Tumblr, Twitter, and there's the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, and all my past interviews too at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
It's Bison Bentley's Do You Know Dat?
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that? Bison Bentley is a character on this show who often says the words, do you know dat? And we feel sorry for him about that. But that's all right. Let's move on and cover some interesting stories that you don't know about yet. But you will know that after this. And first, we begin our interesting stories concerning the topic of culture with an open letter to a landlord.
These houses may look falling down, but they have a value. You can see. Now you can tear a building
Mark Sherman, a 72-year-old retired shop owner, has lived in the same North Oakland apartment for 30 years. His unit has been protected since 1985 by the city's rent control law, which protects tenants from high rent increases. But that can change very soon now if his landlords, a couple based in Contra Costa County, are successful in their push to get his property exempt from rent control in a case that advocates say sheds light on the unfair battle Oakland tenants often face in rent disputes. Last year, Sherman's landlords, Harold and Diane Michelson, filed a petition with the Oakland Rent Board alleging that the property should not be subject to rent control restrictions because it became a residential unit after 1983. Properties built after that year, or ones that were not previously residential, are exempt from Oakland's rent control law. The petition surprised Sherman because he knew his apartment had been occupied by tenants in the 1970s. To prove it, he provided Oakland Rent Board officials with phone book records and even tracked down 2 former tenants who submitted official statements for his case confirming that they had lived at his Occidental Street address during the 70s. But a hearing officer for the city's rent adjustment program, which mediates disputes and enforces the city's rent control law, dismissed the evidence that Sherman presented and ruled in favor of the Michelsons. And the Oakland Rent Board, which reviews appeals, upheld the decision in favor of the landlords. The thing that is so striking about this case is that he went above and beyond, says Sherman's lawyer Derek Schoonmaker, citing the extensive research Sherman did to bolster his case. Schoonmaker, a staff attorney with Centro Legal de la Raza, an Oakland-based nonprofit, noted that the process can be significantly harder for tenants who don't speak English or don't have the time to search for supporting evidence. He says he was in some ways exceptional, and that wasn't good enough. The rent board is made up of 6 members, 2 tenant representatives, 2 landlord representatives, and 2 others who are supposed to be neutral. Those latter 2 members, however, are generally homeowners who often side with landlords in controversial cases, according to tenants' advocates. The mayor nominates candidates, and the city council approves them. In Sherman's appeal, only the 2 tenant representatives voted in his favor. And it only goes to show that if you're fighting for anything in the courts here in the Bay Area, it is so difficult when you've got people like, I don't know, I'm thinking about when I got a ticket for not having my dog on a leash, and there were signs everywhere that were, there weren't signs everywhere was the whole point. And I showed pictures, showed it to the judge. He even said, Mr. Matthews, you did a good job proving your case, but I'm still going to rule in favor of the police, and you owe us $300. Yeah, it's a tough row to hoe. And speaking of rows to hoe,
Where have they gone now? It's nothing but flowers. There was a factory. Now there are mountains and rivers.
saying goodbye to grass, but not necessarily to flowers. Participation in Alameda County Water's District's Water Efficient Landscaping Rebate Program is generating heightened interest given California's drought, termed one of the worst in the state's history. The State Water Board recently authorized fines of up to $500 for excessive lawn watering. Even before the State Water Board's announcement, more than 90 homeowners applied to the Alameda County Water Districts, or the ACWD, this year to replace their lawns with California native plants, or plants that fit this region's semi-arid climate. Requiring no supplemental irrigation, ACWD is paying homeowners $1 per every square foot of irrigated green lawn that is replaced, and that is up to the amount of $1,500. To qualify as water efficient or drought tolerant, a yard must have a minimum of 50% plant cover. Native or climate suitable plants must have a 3-inch layer of mulch created on top of 4-inch sheet mulching that entirely blocks out sunlight to kill